laban kontra droga ay laban nating lahat. Iyan ang mensahe ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. sa pagbisita niya sa PDEA Laboratory ngayong araw. Bilang patunay sa dedikasyon ng pamahalaan na masawata ang iligal na droga, tinatayang nasa 62 billion pesos na ang kabuuang halaga ng illegal drugs na nakumpiska sa tatlong taon ng administrasyon. Dagdag ng Pangulo, maraming Pilipino na ang nailigtas mula sa bigkis ng illegal drugs, pero malayo pa ang tatahakin upang tuluyang mapuksa ito. Binigyan diin ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. na hindi lamang small-time drug offenders ang target ng kampanya kontra droga. Pupuntiryahin ng pamahalaan ang mga tunay na kalaban nito, ang mga malalaking sindikato na sumisira sa kinabukasan ng kabataang Pilipino. Kabilang sa whole of government approach ng administrasyon, palalawakin pa ng pamahalaan, di ba? Different word. Palalawakin pa ng pamahalaan ang hakbang kontra droga. Kasama dito ang pagpapabuti ng sektor sa edukasyon, pagpapakalat ng tamang impormasyon, at pagtutok sa mental health. Inutusan naman ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. ang PDEA na pagbutihin pa ang kampanya kontra droga. Bukod sa pagpapaigting ng mga operasyon upang puksain ang illegal drugs sa bansa, magsasagawa rin ng pagbabalanse ng rehabilitation and reintegration efforts para sa drug offenders. Pinaalalahanan din ng Pangulo ang mga operatiba ng PDEA na iwasan ang karahasan sa pagsugpo sa illegal drugs. Hanggat kaya ay panatilihing makatao ang pinag-ikting na kampanya kontra droga. Nais din ng Pangulo na lalo pang tutukan ang pagbuwag sa malalaking sindikato at tiyakin ang tamang pag-iimbak at pag-dispose sa mga kontrabando ng naaayon sa batas. Kaya kaninang umaga lang ay ipinag-utos ng Pangulo na ang pagsunog ng 1,304 kilos na shabu packs na na-recover na palutang-lutang sa karagatan ng Zambales, Pangasinan, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur at Cagayan. Tinatayang nasa higit 8.8 billion pesos ang street value ng na-recover na mga kontrabando. Nakasalang din na sunugin ang 226 kilos na assorted drugs na may halagang 609 million pesos mula sa iba't ibang operasyon.
Binisita ni PBBM ang PDEA sa Quezon City para inspeksyonin ang mga nakumpiskang iligal na droga. Kabilang dito ang mga floating shabu na nakuha sa baybayin ng ilang lalawigan sa Luzon. Ang kontrabando ay sisirain sa harap ng media sa pamamagitan ng thermal decomposition. Ayon sa Pangulo, maraming buhay ang naligtas ng mga nasamsam na kontrabando. Pinuri niya ang mga mangingistang nagsukon ang mga ito at muling binigyang diin ang mapayapang laban kontra droga.
Layin po nating ilahad sa publiko ang direktiba ng Pangulo at ang mga agarang hakbang ng gobyerno para protektahan ang ating mga kababayan mula sa epekto ng tensyon sa Middle East, particular sa Iran at Israel. Pinatawag po ng Pangulo ang buong economic team at ang Department of Energy upang maglatag ng isang malinaw at mabilis na plano ng aksyon para tiyaking ligtas ang bawat pamilyang Pilipino sa banta ng pagtaas ng presyo ng langis at pangunahing bilihin. Narito po ngayon si Department of Energy OIC Sharon Garin upang ipaliwanag ang mga hakbang at direktiba ng Pangulo. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you. Today po, ang recent report po sa presyo ng langis, bumaba siya bigla. As of yesterday, it was on the high 70s. Ngayon po, nasa 69, bumalik siya. Siguro dahil sa mga proclamations ng President Trump and all the ongoings in the conflict of Iran and Israel. Ang epekto niyon, kumalma na yung industriya, there's less speculation, so it went down to 69 as of this morning. So, that's good news for everyone. And pero kahit may good news tayo ngayong umaga, ang utos pa rin ng presidente is we make sure that we protect the Filipino people from the impact of the oil price hike. Meaning po, most especially those na gumagamit ng public utility vehicles, our farmers and our fisher folk. So we will, as we are gathered here today, we also have an ongoing meeting with the OTR and DA and LTFRB to make sure that whatever happens, whether it happens, if it happens, we are ready to give the to distribute the subsidies to our PUV drivers, operators, farmers, and fisher folks po.
We are now open for questions. Tuesday New, TCBB.
Mic down.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Sa ngayon po ba, ma'am, mayroon na po ba kayong natukoy kung magkano ang halaga noong ibibigay na fuel subsidy sa bawat transport sectors like AUV, PUV, o TNVS and
Yes, ma'am.
others?
Wala pang definite na amount. Ang definite lang doon is we have 2.5 billion pesos for subsidy for PUVs. But that is the individual distribution, kung magkano tatanggapin ng kada recipient. It depends siguro kung sino ang makakatanggap at ilan ang makakatanggap. Currently, DOE, DA and DOTR are meeting, and DOTR is also hard at work determining the number of recipients, kung sino ba talaga yung makakatanggap. But I think the OTR already identified and now they're just finishing up the listing yata. But as pronounced by the OTR, they're ready to disperse anytime that the signal is given to them.
Yan po ba, ma'am, ay pwede nang asahan ng ating mga transport operators and drivers within the week na mai-release?
We have to ask the OTR on that when it will be ready. Pero dalawang agencies yan, ano? May Department of Agriculture din for farmers and fisher folks, which is around 600 million pesos under the General Appropriations Act, and then there's 2.5 billion for the OTR for the PUVs. When and how much will be distributed, I would leave it to the OTR to announce that kasi kailangan pa nilang ayusin pa yung mga records nila at yung logistics. Hindi lang kasi yan, they have to work with the banks also. So kailangan siguro patapusin muna natin as I'm not sure if they can update us today, but they've been working the whole week already, even before pa na nagtumaas pa to. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuesday New. Next question is Alexis Romero, Philippine Star.
Good afternoon po. What scenarios were discussed during the meeting with economic managers and what measures are being planned for each scenario?
There are several scenarios. And the most positive is that it will not escalate anymore and the prices will continue to go down. Today is a good day with $69 per barrel. It can escalate. The worst scenario is they close the Strait of Hormuz. Meaning yan, many of our supply kasi dumadaan dyan eh. Dyan dumadaan siya. So if it gets cut off, then that's not only for the Philippines, bad news for the Philippines, but the whole world actually. So we've been discussing different scenarios from worst to best. Pero I think ang gustong makita ng presidente this morning, what is the effect on the Filipino people? For example, those that are living, our OFWs that are in the Middle East, what is the effect on their growth, no? Kasi malaking tulong po ang mga OFW in the Middle East as far as our economy is concerned. Kasi malaki din yung pinapadala nilang mga remittances. And then also, what is the effect on the daily life of the Filipino people? Kasi po, ang oil po will affect presyo ng pamasahe natin, and if the price increases, it will also cause increases in our basic goods or necessities po. So it was a very broad discussion, pero focused on making sure that there is less impact on the daily lives of each Filipino family.
Okay, salamat po. So, what are the contingency measures in place in the event that the worst case scenario materializes?
I can only talk about Department of Energy,
Yes, po.
because there are other agencies also concerned. Iba-iba rin yung mga scenarios na ginagamit nila at possibilities of options, no? But for DOE, if we start, we have the ayuda system, which is to ang importance of the ayuda for the drivers is that so that they won't increase their fares. No? And if we don't allow increase of fares, we have to give them something. Otherwise, sila ay magsho-shoulder. So yun din yung ayaw ng presidente. So we need to make sure that everybody's protected. And the government is willing to subsidize part of their cost of delivering our people from work to home and home to work. Ito po yung subsidy na binibigay, which is 2.5 billion. And 2 days ago or 3 days ago, the President called for oil companies to stagger. The staggering ng increase kasi dapat kasi 5 pesos or more, no? So sabi, ang miniting namin kahapon ang mga oil companies at 10 in the morning, and before 6 p.m. they already announced their plan to stagger. 2 days, June 24 and June 26, no? 2.60, 2.60. So, the impact, overall impact is same. You recharge, the increase will be 2 times 2.60. Pero, na-stagger siya. So, ngayon po, kung tignan niyo po yung mga gas stations natin, ina-anticipate na nila yung increase bukas. So, maraming nagpapagas na ngayon. So, mapaplano ng mga pamilya kung kailan sila bibili. So, kung isahan lang kasi one time lang yung planning mo. Pero, at least kung ma-stagger mo siya, you have to, the whole week to plan out your expenses on fuel. So, I think that's a good call on the part of the President. And other than the ayuda, we are also asking for oil companies to expand or to increase their discounts or promos for public utility vehicles. As of today, we have received confirmation that one company is willing to give 1 peso discount for our PUV drivers for every liter. So maganda po yan, less 1 peso po yan. Malaking savings yan. We have calculated if they run at 10 hours a day, they will save about 18,000 pesos a year kung ganun nangyayari po. So malaking tulong po yan. And that is not from government, that's the willingness of the oil company to help, no? Bayanihan po kasi ang epekto niyan. Since the President called for them to stagger, parang ganahan na rin ang mga oil companies tumulong. So, the first company to confirm their discounted rates is Clean Fuel. I think they're based more on Metro Manila, but hopefully the other companies, kung check pa namin, meeting kami from tomorrow up to Friday, what can we do to help the PUV drivers and operators. Mind you, because of the lowering of the prices internationally, it might go lower also, no? Yung presyo, baka hindi na kailangan ng ayuda. But we will still continue. We want to be prepared. We want the oil companies to be prepared also. Make sure they have enough stock. DOTR is ready to distribute anytime na mag-escalate pa. So, that's good. And what's happening now, all agencies are bracing for impact. Even parang wala namang impact, pero we're still preparing for it.
Salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ace Romero. Next question, Mase Halili, TV5.
Magandang hapon po. Ma'am, although sinabi nga po ninyo na bumaba na yung presyo kanina, meron po kasi pa rin panawagan from some transport groups na baka better kung isuspend na lang yung VAT and excise tax on petroleum products. Napag-usapan niyo po ba ito? Anong tingin po ng economic team dito?
Yes, ma'am. That was discussed also earlier. If you lower the, I think 10 pesos yata yung excise, no? That would have a big impact. But the excise tax and the value-added tax, which is 12%, is imposed because of a law. no? Legislation yan eh. So hindi pwede na yung DOE can go against what is mandated by law, nor DOF, nor even the President, no? So kailangan talaga sundan kung anong nasa batas. Suspension, we have been researching, wala kasi sa batas yan eh. Ang ina-allow lang is to suspend the increase. Wala naman tayong ni-increase eh. But although however willing it is, the cabinet would be, pero hindi po kasi allowed by law, no? So it will have to be an act of Congress. Kailangan an amendment to the current law ang kailangan dyan para either to suspend, to lower, or even to abolish taxes on fuel. Pero ang collections, I'm sorry, ang collections kasi dyan, it will run around on the excise tax and VAT, mga 300 billion. What I always say is, yes, we can, that's 300 billion also, and that's also, if we do away with the 300 billion, that's also how many kilometers of roads, how many school buildings, no, health services natin, mababawasan kasi bawas din yan sa budget ng gobyerno. So it's a balance that the administration is trying to find na protected ang sumasakay sa public transport, pero the basic service should also go on. So that's why ayuda might be a good start for now.
And ma'am, yung sinasabi po ninyo kanina na pagbaba ng presyo ng petrolyo, do we see this na magtutuloy-tuloy, magiging trend na po ba ito? And at what point natin masasabi na there's a need for a state of emergency or DOE needs an emergency power through the President?
Actually, $80 per barrel is the trigger for the ayuda. And also under NIRC, our tax code, no? And then under the GAA also, it's $80. Now, if you ask me when will it trigger na may national emergency, I think we have to go back with the economic managers there if we are able to handle the $80, past the $80 kasi, no? Right now, we're just anticipating, para lang prepared tayo. But once you declare a national emergency on this, then that will ibang courses na yan na pwedeng i-take. Kasi there are different I just want to explain, worst case scenario kasi maubusan tayo ng supply. Tataas talaga yung presyo, no? There are options to do that. Right now we have long-term options, but there are options also in finding other suppliers, finding other routes for our supply. Pero those things, siguro kanina kumalma na rin yung economic team because they've seen that there's a lowering of the prices. So we've been instructed to just prepare as usual, like as if we're going to break the $80 limit. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mase. Next question, Ivan Marina, GMA7.
Ma'am, iklaruhin ko lang po.
Yes, sir.
So hanggat hindi umaabot ng $80, yung pinag-uusapan nating 2.5 billion na ayuda, hindi ho siya matitrigger. Not yet.
I want to explain. The $80, nag-break na tayo dyan ng January or February, if you remember. It increased, no? So under GAA, DOE notified na all the agencies. We're past the $80 mark. So anytime, one time lang naman yung notification eh. They can use up the funds anytime naman. So that's why I don't want to say when and how much because it is for DOTR. Sila yung mandate to distribute.
Balikan ko ho
Yes,
yung sa worst case scenario,
Yes, sir.
yung isara yung Strait of Hormuz na may ipit yung supply
Pagdasal
natin.
mo lang na hindi.
Sana nga.
It's never happened in history.
Yes.
Yes.
Pero as we speak, nasa anong level po ang inventory ng oil companies natin and how long will it last? For how many days? At kung mangyari nga po yung worst case scenario, ano-ano po yung mga options natin, alternatives na pagkukunan?
Yes, sir. By regulation, all oil companies are required to have 15 days of buffer stock, no? Ang reserba nila. We check it every day. They report every day kung ano yung level nila. And as of today, the average is around 28 days. So halos isang buwan naman yung stock nila. Some are more than compliant, more than 28 days. Some medyo may problema pa. It's good that we've been visiting the oil companies because now we are helping with their permitting process para siguraduhin na lahat sila compliant. So meron tayong 30 days. The whole country as an aggregate, all oil companies combined, we have 30 days of buffer stock. I think that's a good number because that's also cash for our oil companies. They spend for that. So it's heavy for them also to extend that to 2 months. 1 month is a good number. Now, if you have kung may closure, which I really doubt, and because that's against the interest of everyone in the Middle East and the whole world. Even the big countries, I don't think parang they would allow that. Pero there are also alternative routes for shipping. Also alternative sources. We're talking about Middle East here. Actually, Iran is only 1.5% of the whole OPEC country export. Kasi po, oil embargo na yan dati. Most of their exports are sent to China. So, ang lang sa international market is about 1.5 million ang naka-alat lang dyan. There are other OPEC countries that in total have 5.5 million na reserves, so pwede nila i-cover. And if that is not possible, we also have other countries like US, Canada, Brazil, and other countries that can be sources also. So we have alternatives. It might not be as efficient, pero it's the country has an option to find alternatives.
Thank you,
sir.
Ivan. Next question, Job Manahan, ABS-CBN.
Hello ma'am, good morning po.
Good morning.
Ay, good afternoon na pala. Ma'am, groups are questioning bakit kailangan automatic na nagtataas yung oil reserve kahit na matagal pa yung reserve nila. So parang anong doon? Logic kaya behind
bakit they've bought it before already,
Yes,
and why is
exactly.
the increase nag-a-apply ngayon, I'll try to explain as simple as I could, in oil kasi, basically, the delivery does not mean that you have a price already. Ibig sabihin, yung goods, na natatanggap mo, hindi ibig sabihin nag-agree na kayo sa price. Okay, so they agree on the price depending on yung tinatawag nila na MOPS sa Singapore, yung parang average on the international market, let's say, So, what you consume today, mag-agree kayo yan kung anong MOPS ang gagamitin ninyo, and then that was what you pay. If you have 100 liters, for example, and you only sell 10, you pay the 10 as agreed. Hindi dahil nakuha mo na siya 2 weeks ago, nagbayad ka na, no. The price is determined as you go. So my simple explanation would be, it's like you pay for the replacement of the fuel that you sold. Parang ganun na lang. Para lang, it's as simple as that, na kung ano yung cost ng fuel na binenta mo, to replace that, that's what you pay for it. Kasi medyo hindi sila nagde-define ng presyo kaagad ngayon anong delivery They determine that upon when the time that you sell it. Medyo iba yung practice ng industry So that's also a question of many, and it's hard to understand if you're not from the industry, but yes, that's how they do it in the oil companies. Lahat-lahat sila actually. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, na-mention nyo kanina na bumaba na yung presyo ng crude oil. Magtutuloy-tuloy kaya or sa tingin nyo pwedeng hindi na ituloy yung second installment ng oil price hike sa Thursday?
Well, we have to talk to the companies. Hopefully, kung bumaba naman, we have meetings again tomorrow with them until Friday. So we'll check with them if they can hold muna yung pag-increase kasi bababa naman. We have to check on that kasi they actually were willing na to sacrifice the 2.60 on their part for tomorrow. Ang problema kasi oil companies are not regulated. The prices are not regulated. This was because of the oil deregulation law. So hindi natin nakokontrol. What the government can do is just ask the companies. We regulate the registration and all that. Pero yung presyo, hindi po. Kaya nga, it is quite heartwarming din when the president called for their participation in staggering the price hike. They responded positively. So that was on their willingness naman. Hindi naman violation yan kasi kung hindi ka sumunod eh. Pero they were willing to help the president to soften the blow of the oil price hike. So so hopefully hopefully we can talk to them again. And can I just revert back to the question mo kanina? Di ba, ang ano na rin yan, ngayon, pag nag-increase, parang dehado yung consumer, di ba? They're paying for a higher price na hindi pa naman nag-a-apply. Pero, on the other hand, pag ang expectation mo, it goes lower in the next week, dehado din yung oil company. No? Kasi bababaan nila, they will mark it down also. So, give and take na rin yan. So, there are times that the consumers suffer, but there are times also that the oil companies are the one taking the brunt of the lowering of the price. No? So, bawi-bawi rin siya. Thank you.
Thank you, Job.
Yes.
Next question, Eden Santos, Net 25.
Sir, good afternoon po.
Afternoon
Sabi
po.
nga DOTR, DA and LTFRB are ready to distribute the subsidy. $80 per barrel ang triggering
Yes, sir.
para tayo magbigay ng ayuda. Since bumaba na po siya sa 69 and we're expecting, sabi niyo po na magtuloy-tuloy yung trend na pababa. Yun po bang ayuda na naka-ready 2.5 billion for operators and drivers and 600 million pesos para sa farmers and fisher folks ay tuloy-tuloy pa rin po yung pagbibigay nito?
Well, kung tuloy siya, pero yung premise mo kasi kanina, total bumababa na. Pero posible din tumaas siya ulit, ano? So, I would just want to say na ready yung DOTR and DA. Now, when will that be distributed? If it goes down or goes up, I would rather have DOTR announce that kasi nagbi-meeting pa nga, hindi ko alam kung ano pa nangyayari sa meeting. Pero I think nililinis pa nila lahat ng logistics, ang kung ano yung paano babayaran, paano distribute, sinong tatanggap. Those are things that are still being discussed with the OTR. So, kung tuloy siya or hindi, I think they will decide on that sometime soon.
Paano po natin masusure, magagaranti na hindi po mahuhulog sa corruption itong budget, itong pondo na ito para sa ayuda sa ating mga affected sectors po?
Na I guess you mean na iba yung nakakatanggap?
Yes,
Parang
hindi
ganun.
lahat ay talagang nakakatanggap.
Kaya nga ang hindi immediate na distribute lang ang DOTR, ano? They are trying to make sure that the list is correct. That the recipients, included ba yung operators, included kung kasama ba yung drivers, kung sino mga drivers, at what kind of PUVs are included. I think DOTR is studying that. They're really, kasi ang utos na yata ni Secretary Vince, we should do this ASAP, but make sure that it's the correct way of doing it. So, in fact, they're trying to talk also to the banks like Land Bank, so para mas streamline yung pag-distribute. So, all the safeguards. We're trying to do all the safeguards then. As long as the list is correct, I think that's half the battle already. Ginagawa naman nila lahat.
Last question na lang po. Since itong nangyari sa Iraq at Israel, hindi naman po kahapon lang nangyari o last week.
Sa Iran.
Iraq and Israel. Iran and Israel.
Huwag mong
Sorry.
umpisahan yung isa.
Baka sumali pa.
Baka sumali.
Secretary, wala po ba tayong naka-reading or naka-in-place na sistema or mekanismo para po sa pagbibigay ng ayuda sa mga ganitong sitwasyon? Kasi kung nyo palang pinag-aaralan, pinag-uusapan, tapos biglang bumaba, pwede palang hindi naman naibigay yung ayuda, samantalang sabi nyo kanina, noong January pa yung nagkaroon ng mataas na presyo, dapat pala nung palang February, March, April, nabigay nyo na yung ayuda sa mga kinakailangang sektor, hindi po ba? Wala po ba tayong nakareding mekanismo or sistema sa kailan dapat ibigay yung ayuda, kailan dapat umaksyon yung gobyerno po?
Technically kasi hindi kailangan ngayon kasi hindi pa umaabot ng 80, no? Pero na-trigger na siya before. Hindi po yung DOE nagdi-distribute, it's DOTR. That's why we are having a meeting today para ma-check kung anong na-disburse nung January, if ever there was a disbursement, para ma-check namin yung balance. I think ang DOTR is just responding to calls of many of the sectors, kung sino ang gustong ma-include, sino ang exclude, kung magkano ang gusto nila, how many days ba dati, kasi nag 6,000 pesos yata dati, how many days ba yung 6,000 pesos is just good enough for 1 day, 2 days. So I think the DOTR is just trying to make sure that everything's correct kasi nga, as you mentioned earlier, it could be prone to corruption or abuse. So DOTR has to make sure also na yung tamang tao ay makakatanggap ng tamang amount, no? I think that's a prudent way for DOTR to do. Kailan siya distribute? I cannot say now kasi that is up to the DOTR to determine. Bakit ka kasi nag-aayuda? Kasi mahihirapan yung driver mo no? Na ikarga yung fare na hindi naman nag-i-increase. So I think that's an expertise of DOTR to determine kung para ma-avoid ang pag-suffer or yung impact sa driver nung pag-increase ng presyo ng langis. I think Secretary Vince would be in a better position in a few days siguro baka masagot niya na yan. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Eden. Next question sa Medinilla Business Mirror.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Na-mention po nila, ma'am, na pina-check po kanina yung kung magkano pa yung balance dun sa budget for the fuel subsidies. Nabawasan po kaya yun noong January o February after checking po kanina?
Hindi ko pa na-check kasi ngayon yung meeting. Napalipat ako dito sa pero I have to go check. That's the purpose actually ng meeting namin. But I do believe marami pang minimal lang yata ang nabawas dati kung if ever there was one, no? I think intact pa yung amount yan Enough pa siya to subsidize the intended recipients natin.
Tapos nabanggit po kanina nila na yung wala sa batas yung power na mag-suspend ng VAT or excise tax.
Yes, sir.
May recommendation po ba yung Executive Department or DOE in regards to that? Should Congress pass a legislation to allow that?
I think that's for Congress to determine because of the separation of powers of the legislative and executive. Executive will follow whatever is the wisdom of Congress, pero I do believe on the part of Congress in the past, marami ng mga nag-file ng bill about that, about suspension or even emergency actions as far as oil taxes are concerned. So, tignan natin yung Kongreso kung kasi sila talaga dapat nagde-decide on what laws we want to be imposed in the country, particularly on the taxes on oil. So, it's in their discretion kung anong amendment ang gusto nila sa batas.
Tapos ma'am, na-mention yung kanina na discuss na economic managers yung projection kung ano yung possible impact ng worst case scenario or yung medyo good scenario pagdating dito. May na-discuss po ba kung nag-expect yung economic managers na ma-reach pa rin yung target when it comes to economic growth and employment this year dahil nga sabi nyo medyo naging bumaba na yung price ng oil? Or ano po ba, meron po bang changes dun sa magiging targets?
So far, based on what is happening today, so far as the conflict has subsided and the prices have gone down, parang minimal ang impact sa economy natin. I cannot give you the exact numbers, pero maliit lang talaga yung impact that I don't think it's alarming for our economic managers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Next question, Clay Partilla, PTB4.
Yes,
Magandang hapon po,
Good afternoon po,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Apo. Ma'am, you've mentioned about meeting with oil companies. Are we going to negotiate or ask them to consider not to implement another price hike? Dahil nga po nag-ease na yung tension, ilalatag po ba yun ng DOE sa mga oil companies?
Kung yung MOPS kasi bumaba, dapat talaga bumaba na siya, no? And without even asking them to lower it. I think the question earlier was like yung other half na stagger, can it be negotiable pa? And that's for them to decide. And we will try our best to talk to the oil companies. We have a series of meetings with them. It's another act of kindness on their part if they do so. But rest assured that the OE will attempt, no? Will try to talk to the oil companies. Thank you.
Next question, Christian Yosores, Radyo 630.
Hi, ma'am. You mentioned po that you're encouraging the oil companies to offer discounts and promos to VUBs. Pero what's in for them po if they provide such discounts and promos? May incentives din po ba in return for them?
They're giving discounts. I think for one company, actually, they're giving 1 peso discount for every liter. There's no incentive on their part, fiscal or any other incentive. It's a pure recognition of their altruism that they will get. So bayanihan effect lang talaga yun. So for that, we are very thankful with the oil companies because they're helping the president help our people. So wala po yan na may additional incentive sila. It's just really an appeal to their kindness, no? So for that, we're very thankful to all the oil companies.
Thank you, Christian. Last question, Chloe Hofana, Business World.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Parang ano to, no? Parang defense plenary, no?
Ma'am, the DOE and oil companies agreed to stagger the implementation of the supposed big-time hike this week. Will this scheme be implemented next week as well?
Well, I'm hoping. You know, I'm 1 week only on this job. But I'm hoping by next week it will go lower and lower and there's no need to stagger unless we want to stagger the lowering. But I don't think the people would want, no? But if it does increase next week, then that's our ask na continue lang stagger every week ang increases. So ngayon, we're staggering. Next week, if it goes lower, I don't think it's a problem anymore. But if it increases, which I hope it won't happen, then we're still asking for the staggering of the successive increases. Yes,
Thank you, Chloe Hofana. Ma'am Claire.
Okay na, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Ma'am Sharon Garin, OIC of Department of Energy.
Ma'am Sharon, can you please stay?
Baka po may tanong pa eh. Okay, now, maaari na po tayong tumanggap ng mga katanungan mula sa kapita-pitaga ng MPC.
Okay, first question, ma'am, is from Chloe Hofana, Business World.
Good afternoon, Yusek. Ano po yung napag-usapan kanina sa economic managers meeting?
Nandito na po kanina.
Pero
Ibigay ko po muna, ma'am, babalikin ko po kayo.
Well, this was the briefing of Secretary RC of DepDev, no? Formerly NEDA. He was explaining the trend, which was bumababa na nga. Pero anyhow, I think na-categorize niya on different aspects, like what is the impact of the oil price hike or the volatility of the prices of oil, what's the impact on our OFWs, what's the impact on the remittances, kasi malaki din yung contribution ng Middle East sa remittances natin, and then combining all that with our exports and imports and our trade with Israel, for example. Yun yung inassess ni Secretary RC, and with the current situation na mukhang hindi na mag-escalate or it's slowing down or there's ceasefire. Hopefully it lasts longer, no? There's ceasefire among all the countries involved. And I think inadya ni Secretary RC na, of course, the Iran and Israel will always have conflict. Pero yung ibang countries baka hindi na ma-involve. So, combining all those, his team, I think, his department made an assessment on the impact on inflation as well as on the growth on the GDP of the Philippines, on the growth. So, with all those considerations, I don't have the numbers here kasi na-present lang yun kanina, but the impact is so minimal to our economy that doesn't seem alarming as of now. Basta hindi lang siya aakyat ulit or the conflict worsens. So those are yun yung na-present ng and along with the Secretary RC of DepDev, there was all the agencies were there, including Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of Finance, Secretary Recto was there, Secretary Go, all those involved. Pati Labor was also there, Energy was also there. So lahat po na concerned agencies nandun. And I think that was the feeling eventually na the impact won't be as alarming as for today, no? We'll see tomorrow kung may changes pa sa situation sa Middle East. But everybody's closely monitoring what's happening there.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Ma'am Sharon. Next question.
Maraming salamat po.
Richbon Quevedo, Daily Tribune.
Good afternoon po, Yusek. Tawid po tayo sa technology. On the topic of AI, ma'am, last week a local official went viral over her alleged use of artificial intelligence prayer, which garnered negative reactions online. Now po, the government is counting on AI to boost digitalization and modernization of technology. While AI can be used for a lot of ways and even bad ones, is the president looking to have regulations for AI or at least a creation of framework to promote responsible AI use?
Nagkaroon po ng sectoral meeting noong May 20, 2025, ang Presidente, ang Pangulo, kasama po ang DOST. At pinag-usapan po nila yung National Artificial Intelligence Strategy for the Philippines. At ngayon po ay nagagawa na po sila ng framework at pati po yung pag-develop po ng hubs na ang focus po ay on understanding artificial intelligence. Ang inuutos po ng Pangulo ay magkaroon po ng tuloy-tuloy na pag-aaral patungkol po sa AI, advantages at disadvantages po nito, ang application po nito sa bansa at yung mga best practices nito sa ibang mga bansa. At magkaroon po ng regular na policy recommendations and research findings. So, nandun naman po.
Follow-up lang po. Papalapit na po ang SONA and there may be an effort to spread misinformation targeting not just the president but other public officials as well. Ano po ang mensahe ng palasyo patungkol po dito?
Unang-una po, pagbubutihan po ng gobyerno ang trabaho para po ito ay ma-reduce o masawata ang fake news at hingin din po namin ang inyong tulong patungkol po dito dahil sa media po, social media, sa mainstream media, malaking tulong po. Kapag ka po kayo may nakikita na po na fake news, ito po ay mai-alarma agad sa taong bayan. So we need your help.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Richbon. Next question, Clay Pardilla, PTV4.
Magandang tanghali po, Yusek. VP criticized the country's foreign policy and the administration's decision to allow foreign missiles in the Philippines. Ang sabi niya po, papapasukin mo ang missile ng foreign power sa bansa mo na alam mong kinaiinisan ng kalaban niya. Any comment po, Yusek? Salamat.
Yes, the President said, we expect that from the Dutertes because they are pro-China. At ang Pangulo po ay pro-Philippines.
Thank you, Clay. Eden Suarez.
Yusek, good afternoon po. Bagaman merong mga pagbaba sa presyo ng langis ngayon na nabanggit ng DOE. Mataas man o mababa po yung langis ay mataas pa rin ang presyo ng mga bilihin. Ano po yung mga specific na hakbang o direktiba ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. para po mapigilan yung patuloy na mataas na presyo ng bilihin? Hindi na lamang po yung pork ngayon, maging yung manok ay tumataas din po ang presyo.
Noong nakaraang buwan po ay nagkaroon po ng report ang PSA na may mga goods na bumababa po ang presyo. Hindi naman po lahat ng mabibili sa merkado ay mahal. At tandaan po natin, pati po ang presyo ng bigas ay bumababa na rin. At may ginagawa po, ayon na rin po sa direktiba ng Pangulo. Ang isa po na mababanggit ko po na ginawa po at naging successful po, si DI Secretary Cristina Roque, ay nagkaroon po sila ng kasunduan ng Canned Sardines Association of the Philippines kahapon po, June 23, 2025, at napagkasundoan na hindi po itataas ang presyo ng dilatang sardinas. So, sa ngayon po, at sabi nga po, mananatili na 21 pesos ang suggested price ng bawat 155 grams na lata ng sardinas. So yan lang po muna maiulat ko at hihingi po tayo ng karagdagang ulat sa DTI kung ano pa po ang maaari nating maibahagi sa inyo.
Yung pong pork and chicken price po yung mataas, ano po yung ginagawa ng DA dito?
Napag-usapan na rin po natin dati yan at nasagot na po natin na medyo may tumataas nga po na presyo dahil sa kailangan po na magkaroon ng bakuna yung ibang mga baboy. At hihingin po ulit natin na ibang detalye kung ano po ngayon ang prevailing price sa market po ng baboy at ng manok.
Pero wala pong ASF ngayon. I think hindi po yun ang main reason bakit tumataas po yung presyo ng baboy. Ang sinasabi po ng mga biyahero ay parang hindi po kontrolado ng DA yung presyo sa yung farm gate price. Yan.
Okay po, tatanungin po natin si DA Secretary patungkol po dyan kung may katotohanan po ang report na yan.
Thank you, Eden. Ma'am Claire.
Okay po. At bago po tayo magtapos, DBM, inaprubahan na ang additional 4,000 teaching jobs para sa taong 2025. Alinsunod sa direktiba ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. na palakasin pa ang suporta sa sektor ng edukasyon, inaprubahan na ng Department of Budget Management sa pangunguna ni Secretary Mina Pangandaman ang isa pang batch ng teaching positions para sa 2025. Aprobado na ang 4,000 new Teacher 1 positions na may salary grade 11. Ito ang second batch na kukumpleto sa 20,000 teaching jobs na hiniling ng DepEd sa administrasyon.
Wow.
Bukod pa rito, sa naunang inaprobahan ng DBM na 10,000 non-teaching positions para sa DepEd nitong April 2025 lamang. Patunay ito sa pagtutok ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. sa pagsasaayos ng edukasyon or education sector sa bansa. Dahil sa bagong Pilipinas, ang gusto ng Presidente ay dekalidad na edukasyon para sa bawat estudyante.
O, diba guys? Ang ganda. Galing Ganon, dapat ang leader. Tinitingnan ng problema ng bawat Pilipino.
Aksyon, hindi bakasyon. Mabilis na naging aksyon ng MMDA sa City Government of Manila na maghakot ng basurang nagkalat sa major roads ng lungsod. Dahil po sa malakas na pag-ulan nitong mga nakaraang araw, nagkaroon ng pagtambak ng basura sa maraming kalsada. Sa direktiba ng Pangulong Marcos Jr., agad na ipinag-utos ni MMDA Chairman Don Artes ang pagpapadala ng mga dump trucks upang makatulong sa paglilinis. Ayon sa datos ng MMDA, umabot na sa 49 tons ng basura ang nahakot at dinala sa Navotas Sanitary Landfill nitong umaga. Patuloy po ang panawagan ng MMDA sa publiko na maging responsable sa pagtatapon ng basura upang maiwasan ang pagbabara ng mga drainage at kalsada, lalo na sa panahon ng tag-ulan. At di na po nagtatapos ang ating press briefing. Maraming salamat Magandang hapon para sa bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you guys. And you watching. See you again on my next upload. Ganyan si Jose Castro. Aksyon, aksyon. Hindi bakasyon.
Thank you.
Babos!